Hello, welcome back to Bradow's Blockbusters. I'm Michael Bradow.
I'm Jeremy Alves.
I'm AJ.
And this is our review of the 1952 film Singin' in the Rain. It's a comedy musical romance directed and choreographed by Stanley Donen and Gene Kelly, written by, if I could read, Betty Camden and Adolph Green. It's an hour and 42 minutes long, rated G. Available on Fandango, Prime Video, Apple TV, and Vudu. It had a budget of $2.451 million and earned $7,232,802 worldwide, making it a box office hit. I also, as usual, have the scores from Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and Metacritic here. And I believe this is the highest rated movie we've watched so far.
Yeah, the first rated G movie we've done, too.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, this is the first rated G
Oh, yeah, because
movie.
we've done PG, but this is G. Okay, but the Rotten Tomatoes on the tomato meter has a 100% score.
Perfect.
So there really isn't anything to say. It's just the greatest movie.
It's just gorgeous.
Yeah. And the user score is a 95, which is still exceptional. IMDb gives it an 8.3, and Metacritic is not quite there, but it's at a 99.
Oh, what the squeaky wheel.
Yeah. So, as for any awards that it might have been nominated for, Jeremy, is there anything that you know?
Yeah, surprisingly, it was only nominated for 2 Academy Awards, and one of them was Best Supporting Actress for Jean Hagen, who played
Lena Lamont.
Yeah, Lena, the annoying.
She got the acting credit.
She got the nomination, but not Debbie Reynolds, not Gene Kelly. It was her, but she lost to someone else.
Gloria Graham.
Yeah, for The Bad and the Beautiful, which I haven't seen. But then it was also nominated for Best Scoring of a Musical Picture, which that lost too to Alfred Newman for With a Song in My Heart, which that movie won Best Picture. And then, but it was nominated for 2 Golden Globes for Donald O'Connor, and he won. So he got his Best Actor.
O'Connor.
He got his Golden Globe.
We are officially Donald O'Connor stans.
Yes.
I've used that word twice in my life. Both of them have been in regards to Donald O'Connor.
So he won that for Best Actor, not Best Supporting, just Best Actor. So Gene Kelly didn't get shit. But then it was also nominated for Best Picture, Comedy or Musical, but it lost to With a Song in My Heart, which I guess. But I've never seen it, so
We can't really pass judgment on movies we haven't seen.
You're right, and also at the time, it really, critics were kind of like, the year before An American in Paris came out, so you're kind of like, they kind of had that as the bar, and then they're like, alright, and then years later, I believe it was re-released, and everyone was like, oh, this is great. So that's kind of how it went.
Oh shit, we passed on that? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the important awards.
Yeah. So before we get into any background information or our grading, like we usually do, AJ,
don't rush it like me, last, or 2 weeks ago, whatever.
As our guest, AJ, would you like to read the plot for us?
I would love to read the plot. So the plot of Singin' in the Rain. When the transition is being made from silent films to, quote, talkies, everyone has trouble adapting. Don and Lena have been cast repeatedly as a romantic couple, but when their latest film is remade into a musical, only Don has the voice for the new singing part. After a lot of practice with a diction coach, Lena still sounds terrible, and Kathy, a bright, young, aspiring actress, is hired to record over her voice.
Which that plot doesn't come in until past an hour.
Past an hour into the film.
Well, you know what? It still works.
It does.
Phenomenal.
The musical sequences really keep you engaged before that. So, can't really complain much about it. But there's a lot of cool information that you found here, Jay.
Yeah, mostly Gene Kelly being a dick. That's kind of most of them.
Yeah.
Poor Debbie Reynolds.
Also, him being sick with a 103-degree fever during the Singing in the Rain sequence.
I do want to point out, just for I love that you also 103 degrees Fahrenheit, but also it's 39 degrees Celsius. I love that you included both.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people, not the misconception because it was true that he was sick when he filmed that, but I feel like if you know a fun fact about that film, that's the fact. That, like, the title song, yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, he's also Gene Kelly, so, like,
yeah.
Gene Kelly.
He's a perfectionist.
He is.
I already said it, and he perfected this. I don't know what they didn't see back in 1952.
Yeah.
But, they were probably on drugs. I don't know.
But Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds did phenomenal, especially for someone who wasn't a dancer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because she really put her all into this film. It says right here that she worked from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. on shoots and what's called after the Good Morning routine, her feet were bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is just, and even because she worked so well, not that they all didn't work hard. Obviously, she wasn't a big dancer before this. That she worked exceptionally hard. Fred Astaire, I believe, once found her crying under a piano.
Yeah,
and he was like, I'll help you, and he helped her there. And then when they filmed Good Morning, they ended up replacing the sounds of the tap they recorded during the actual shoot of Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds' sound. So they're like, well, you did it, but like the sounds aren't there. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That quote from her, though, singing in the rain and childbirth were the two hardest things I ever had to do in my life. I feel like that's just fucking...
I think that sums up
her
the dedication to this film.
To this
definitely.
movie.
Especially, you're 19. Like, this was her breakout role.
Mm-hmm.
Then she went to Disney Channel.
Yes. No shade to Disney Channel.
Oh, no.
Disney, if you're listening.
Robert Iger is not the CEO anymore. But Donald O'Connor, I don't think we can say enough about Donald O'Connor.
No, we can't.
He stole this film, too. He had his moments.
He had his moments, and we love him, and he's underappreciated.
He is very underappreciated.
I know, it's not my favorite number in the film. I know it's yours, Make Him Laugh.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a great number. But spending time in a hospital after that, because he also did smoke 4 packs a day.
But
so,
I feel like
I don't blame the number. That's more of Donald O'Connor's choices.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's a little too many cigarettes.
I mean, I'm also
4 packs a
I'm not
day.
addicted to cigarettes, so I don't want to judge that.
But
4 packs a day is a lot.
Yeah. Because what, are packs like fucking 12 or something? I don't
I
remember.
don't know. But addiction is hard.
Yeah, they are.
But just the fact that, like...
He was still able to pull that off.
Yes.
That's...
And I know that because, we talked about Gene Kelly being a perfectionist, and he would yell at Debbie Reynolds, and she would cry because first job, whatever, a lot of stress, you're working with Gene Kelly.
Right.
And he would yell a lot at Donald because Donald could take it easier than Debbie. Reynolds, I don't know why I'm using first names. I don't know these people. But, yeah.
He also used Donald O'Connor as his whipping boy when he was frustrated with Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah.
That kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
Especially since they portray best friends in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, Donald O'Connor couldn't fucking stand it.
Yeah, I think... Well, that's a lot when you look at, like, the difference between the actors and the characters they portray. And there are some actors who cannot stand their co-stars. Which I'm like, that sucks, because if you're going to be working with them that much...
Yeah. But also, as actors ourselves, we can relate to that.
Oh,
because I know personally, I've worked with people who I'd fucking murder in an instant.
I wouldn't say I would murder somebody, because I wouldn't say that. However, it's just like there are people who, like, there are shows I've heard that are holding auditions, then I hear the director and I'm like, I just don't.
Yeah.
I can't vibe with that. That's just me, and I don't want to put myself in that situation.
Yeah, I've got some people that I just cannot work with.
I've been next to you.
No, it sucks.
You're one of the people I can work with.
I know, but the people
sweet.
you didn't, you kind of told me, and I was like, oh, yeah.
But you also know those people, and
I can work with anyone, because, I don't know, I'm just...
Right.
That's normally myself as well. Like, I can work with anybody.
I can put aside differences, but there are just some people, like, I cannot be next to you longer than I need to.
Well, that's my thing, is there's a difference. Well, like, I feel like I'm friendly with everybody. It's just, if you're a certain way and we don't vibe, like, I respect that. I'm not going to go out of my way to... Like, if we're in the middle of a show and like you and I don't vibe with you right now, that's fine. We're in the middle of a show. It doesn't matter how I feel about you. We're in a show. We're here to do something. But objectively, it's kind of like if I see, oh, this person's in this show and this person's directing, and I'm like, I don't want to put myself in that situation because I know that I will not do my best work. That's just me personally, as a community theater actor. But no.
Also, the amount of significance that this film has had on pop culture as well, because I know it's not like the most recognized pop culture movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that title would probably go to something like The Shining or Scarface or something.
I would throw The Wizard of Oz up there.
Or
too.
The Wizard of Oz, yeah. But also, this movie is referenced in a lot of things. Glee did a whole episode about it.
There was a whole plot line on DC Legends of Tomorrow on the CW where Ray Palmer, that was his again, it was this feel-good movie, and he knows the whole, I think it was like an E.T. alien kind of situation, and he calmed the alien down by watching Good Morning, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. And then the worst example of this, of its significance.
Family Guy too.
Sorry. Family Guy also acknowledges it a lot. But the worst example of its significance to me is probably the most recognizable, with A Clockwork Orange.
I have not seen that movie. I know about that scene though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very disturbing scene.
Yeah,
it is.
Especially, he's singing the song while he's doing.
Yeah.
I watched that. I've never seen the movie, but I've seen that scene.
Yeah.
And you're on edge the entire scene.
Yeah, it's the juxtaposition of what's occurring in the song. Because the song is like, it's kind of like if a clown is riding around, like a murderer clown is coming at you, and you hear Somewhere Over the Rainbow. You're like, these two situations are not supposed to collide.
Right. Yeah.
But
it does work for the disturbing.
Yes.
For the disturbing.
Yes.
It works.
Especially since it's a song about being happy and
I'm happy
being
again.
yourself.
And then he is being himself, but
it's not a happy situation.
Jeez. But it does. The song does play again at the end credits, but the Gene Kelly version. But it's still unsettling because
it's very unsettling.
At the end, the very end, before the credits start rolling, it gets not dark, but disturbing again with him having. And then you just hear the song play. It's
wild.
It's insane. The amount of work that went into this movie, and the credits were not very long.
No, but a lot of
that's a lot of old pictures.
Yeah, they don't credit everybody. At all.
I think everything before at least the 70s had those kind of credits.
Yeah, Mary Poppins came out in 64.
Yeah, 64.
64, and I know because that was the first time. Well, granted, it's still my favorite movie. Where that's where you watch it, and the credits are in the beginning, and you get the main creative team, like director, producer. You get the main cast, and like that's it. But then at the end of that film, you get the credits and then they listed everybody, and I was like, okay. But even this one, in the beginning, you had director, producer, the main stars. You had the people
costume designers.
You had people like costume,
music.
makeup, music, like all like what you would look at a film. Yeah. But there wasn't like a lot of times like now they list like Robert Downey Jr.'s chauffeur and like they still worked on the film, so they should be credited. But they're not in this one. Granted, 1952. The amount of work is just insane.
Yeah.
And it's a jukebox musical. Like I think that's crazy because a lot of people, because obviously this was before jukebox musical was a term. But like a lot of people, like, what's the greatest jukebox musical? People think Mamma Mia or stuff like that, and I'm like,
Mamma Mia, Jagged Little Pill,
stuff like that. I'm like, I'm sorry, but Singing in the Rain, in my opinion, it is the greatest movie musical of all time.
Yeah,
like I'll hear Mary Poppins is my favorite, but I think objectively, Singing in the Rain is the greatest movie musical of all time.
You hear the opening sting for that song, and you're just like whisked away
even
into
like
it.
And when it starts and it has that weird commercial like where all three of them are in like ring gowns singing in the rain and like that dun 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 like that fanfare, you're like okay, and then it goes into it and you're like, all right, I think I'd consider it an overture because it goes right into the credits.
Right.
It's a work of art.
It really is.
Yeah.
And this can never be made. Well, hopefully it will never be remade again. Because West Side Story is going through that.
Well, I'm hopeful for the West Side Story remake because I love Rachel Zegler and some of the casting options.
Because I have faith for that remake too, because Steven Spielberg is directing it, and that's the guy who did Jaws, E.T.,
iconic, yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jurassic Park, all iconic films.
Yeah.
So I trust him, but he's remaking a classic.
Yeah, but he also did War of the Worlds.
That's
fair.
with Tom Cruise also. Yeah.
But then even when Mary Poppins, they were like, oh, they're redoing it. I was like, why would you redo it? Do not redo it. It is it's a great film.
Yeah.
Don't touch my son.
I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then when they said, no, it's not, because originally it was a remake being done by Tim Burton. That's all I heard. And I was like, I hate that. Stop it. I'm like, I know
Tim Burton and Mary Poppins do not.
That is not.
It's just like the stark. Even like Tim Burton and Alice in Wonderland. Like when I heard that, I went no. And then when you're like, okay, Tim Burton and Mary Poppins, I was like, nay. And then when they said no, it's going to be a sequel, I was like, that's better. I was like, it's better than a remake because a remake is kind of like let's take what works and then change it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, it works sometimes. Most of the time, it doesn't. I'm looking at you, Cats.
Was there ever a Cats movie before 2019?
I believe there was. Well, there's the recorded pro shot that was released worldwide in theaters. Right. But also...
I'm on it.
Yeah,
keep going.
I don't know. And then, like, The Wizard... I know a lot of people say The Wizard of Oz is the greatest movie musical of all time, but I feel like that movie is a lot more movie with music than a movie musical. Because this is overtly a movie musical in terms of Good Morning, Singing in the Rain, Moses Opposes, making... Like, there are musical sequences.
Yeah.
And the whole plot is about making a musical. Well, The Wizard of Oz, I feel like that's a song with music, because the iconic song is Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which is, okay, Dorothy's I Want song. And then you have, I guess, Off to See the Wizard, which is a travel song. And then the only other song I can think of is that, like, when Dorothy lands in Oz, and they sing, like, the Ding Dong, which is dead, all those little bits.
Yeah.
And then the Magical Colored Horse. And that's it. And the different variations of... like the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Lion, they all have the same kind of melody song. So, like, I feel like that's a lot more movie with music, where this is a movie musical, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think you can beat Singing in the Rain.
You can't.
You really can't.
It's like also kind of like remake. You're gonna remake a classic. You're gonna ruin the reputation of that classic.
Yeah. Sometimes remakes work.
Mostly they don't.
Yeah, mostly they don't.
But sometimes they can.
Like the Pet Sematary remake, I think works a little.
Yeah, a little bit, a tiny bit.
Yeah,
I'm still debating on that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles remake
doesn't. That didn't work at all.
So there's varying degrees. It depends on how well it's pulled off. How
Scarface remake was great. Even though many people don't know it's a remake, but
I think that says more about how great it is that people... Oh, that's kind of like A Star Is Born. When they remade in 2019, or 2018, a lot of people were like, this is a great movie. I'm like, this is like the fourth one. Yeah. And they're like, what? I was like, Judy... 2 words. Judy Garland. Like, really? Like, that's not Judy Garland. Barbra Streisand. Like, there are other films of it. But what really shocks me about Singin' in the Rain is that it seems like you see a movie, like, that would be great on Broadway. Like, when I saw Greatest Showman, I cannot wait for that to be on Broadway. Like, it's going to be great. Bring the whole cast, bring them back. Zac Efron Broadway debut, please. But, like, when you watch this, you're like, this would be a great Broadway show. And then it was a flop. I think it lasted, like, 300-something performances. It lasted less than a year. It played the Gershwin before Wicked. And it's kind of like what works on stage doesn't work on screen and vice versa.
Right.
Cats. Like that. I'm like, that's my example with it, is because there's no plot to Cats.
Well,
at all.
Speaking of Cats, you were right. There was a movie before than 2019. It was in 1988, but I think it was like it was on stage, but like
it was just a pro shot. Yeah, professionally shot recording of it.
Not like the 2019 where we're actually...
No, we're like, it tried to... And that's the thing, not to go off on a brief stint about Cats, but you're not... Like, the plot of Cats is there is no plot. Like, if you go into it thinking this is a plot-driven show, you're going to be so baffled. You're going to be like, what is happening?
I am this cat. I do that.
It's all cat introduction songs.
And then it's like, hello, I'm that cat. I do this.
Yes, and the whole plot of the show is, which cat are we sending to heaven? And you're like, did I just get that? Like, are we on the same page?
Which cat's dying today?
Because I've never seen Cats nor have I want to see the movie.
If you gotta go into it with an open mind, I know
Yeah.
I have some theater friends who are like, we'll watch it, and I missed the first one. They're like, we have to watch it again, because I'm like, do you really want to watch it again?
Yeah.
But no, because some stuff works on, like, the Phantom of the Opera movie in 2004 with, rest in peace, Joel Schumacher, but, like, Gerard Butler was terrible. Like, I love the Angel Has Fallen series, the action series he's in. Like, I love Gerard Butler, but he's not Phantom of the Opera. Like, and when you think of, like, pretty successful movie musicals, I would say Into the Woods is rather successful.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's not the best adaptation because it changed a lot from the show, but it got more of the movie, the feel.
Better
but, like,
than LMS's production.
Yeah, I'm still very confused how you only do Act 1 of a show, but whatever. That's a whole separate tangent. But, like, Les Mis. I'm not a big Les Mis fan. I can appreciate how much of a work of art it is, but that is a movie musical full of Broadway talent, so that when Russell Crowe gets up there and tries to sing Stars, you're like, that doesn't work. It's terrible. But then with the Phantom movie, not that everyone involved wasn't pretty talented, besides Gerard Butler, but it's kind of like, there was no shining star in that film.
Yeah.
So I feel like not only does his performance kind of get lost in it because of how bad it is, but everyone else isn't great either. So it kind of all together makes it pretty worse. We're Singing in the Rain. Everyone, respectively, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, did they dub Debbie Reynolds, Debbie and Gene Kelly's steps in Good Morning? Yes. Did they dub Debbie Reynolds' voice as she was dubbing for Lena? Yes. However, they all still sing and they all still do their thing. It's an objectively great movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not to go off on tangents.
No, it's okay. We do that sometimes.
Yeah, we do that all the time.
Sometimes.
That's why our reviews are usually like 40 minutes.
Like, is it just me, or is most of the best musicals from before the 2000s? Is it just me?
100%.
Right?
That's like,
there's some
it's
but
the
there's some
golden,
good-
the golden age of movie musicals. Was
Yeah.
between, I guess we'll say 1950 to include this one, and I would say, maybe, when did West Side Story come out?
61.
61. So roughly probably the 70s would be a cutoff.
Yeah.
Or 80s. I don't know. Because, like, Mary Poppins, West Side Story, Singing in the Rain.
Most Disney films.
Yeah.
Most Disney films,
Yeah.
yes. Well, that's what that. But I like it's because they are movie musicals, but I feel like they're
A different brand.
they're a different brand. Like, I wouldn't classify Cinderella, which came out roughly at this time. I think it came out in 50.
Yeah.
I wouldn't classify it in the same vein as Singing in the Rain because they're two completely different things. Just
Right.
because they're movie that people sing in, I think it's different.
Mhm.
But like I can't think of a lot of popular like live action besides Les Mis that has come out since 2000.
Right.
That has been like popularly released because you got Phantom, you got Into the Woods. Okay, maybe I'll give you Into the Woods. Les Mis, Chicago. Sorry, Chicago won Best Picture. Chicago's great.
I'm literally gonna watch Chicago. I have it like record on my TV ready to watch, so I'm about to watch that.
Chicago is really good, and I've only seen it once or twice. And what's really good about it is that it has that thing where it takes what works on the stage and uses it, and then sees, okay, this doesn't work, let's make it better.
Mhm.
Like Cell Block Tango, for instance, on the stage, it's very like centered on one person, and it centers on each of them.
Yeah.
Where in the movie version, it's centered on this person, but like the ensemble behind them is acting out everything. And then at the end, you have that big chorus of He Had It Coming, where it's the entire, like they're on a giant Hollywood soundstage doing the number, and that works because you're going into the minds of those characters.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't work on stage, but it works in the medium of film. So it's kind of like switching that lens.
There are some things you can do on stage that you can't do on film, and vice versa.
100%.
I fucking love getting into stuff like this. It's one of my favorite things to do with this podcast. But to move on from that kind of discussion, I say we mention our 4 leading actors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Starting with the man, the myth, the legend, Gene Kelly.
Gene Kelly. What a
Director,
man.
choreograph,
Star.
Yeah.
He's a perfectionist, but in this movie he really did. I'll just speak for this whole cast. Everyone did perfect. It's perfect.
It really is a great cast.
It's
Even
perfect.
when you mentioned the actress who played Lena got the acting nomination, in my mind, I'm like, that's like, why her? And then when you think about it, you're like, because she did such a great job of making you hate her.
Yeah.
Because you're like, if you're gonna remember a character from that movie, objectively, she's the most well-rounded character that you're going to remember because you're like, oh, it's that annoying girl from the film.
Yeah.
I love Gene Kelly, but he kind of plays the same.
He plays like that typical guy,
suave leading man.
Exactly.
He does it in American in Paris. He does it in this film.
He does it in every movie.
Singin'
in the Rain, American in Paris,
Brigadoon,
Anchors Away, CoverGirl, Xanadu. Pirate Hello Dolly.
Yeah, so he kind of plays that same kind of, which I'm not saying it's bad because he plays that role very well, as we can see from his expansive resume. But like, he's great, and I think it's interesting when you look into separating the actor, like Gene Kelly's actual character in the like how he did acting in this movie based on him as a creator director. Kind of like when you look at, I'm going to use Lin-Manuel Miranda for an example. Right. Of course, he wrote Hamilton, so objectively, like point blank, fantastic creative mind. And then when he stars in it, okay, there's something about watching a creator star in his role. However, a lot of people are like, maybe don't, because it's kind of like, you're great. However, maybe because he's not the best singer. He's a really fantastic rapper. No shade to Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's one of the greatest minds of our generation.
Lynn, if you're listening, I love you.
If you're listening, I absolutely adore you. But it's kind of like, he's great. However, maybe not. Gene Kelly, I don't know about that because he's magnetic to watch. You're drawn to him when he's on screen. And then when you hear about how terrible he was to Debbie Reynolds and Donald O'Connor.
Terrible as a person.
As a person.
As a director.
And terrible as a person. And what gets me is that he's terrible as a person, yes, but he's terrible because he wants it to be the best that he can be, and that gets into that toxic kind of circle where I want it to be great, do your thing, you're not doing it right, but I'm going to yell at you because I want it to be great, and it kind of just goes around and around.
Right.
Tough love.
Yeah, but he's phenomenal in this film. There's no going around that.
If we want to move on to our next person, we've got the incomparable Debbie Reynolds.
Grandma from Halloween Town.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's little kids or, I don't even think little kids would even know Halloween Town, but anyway.
She's been in such classics as Singing in the Rain, obviously. Yeah. Halloween Town, Halloween Town High, Halloween Town 2.
You're just naming all the Halloween Town movies. Because that's the only movies we know from our generation of her. Until she passed.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed
like 3 days of her daughter, Carrie Fisher.
I think the day after Carrie Fisher, literally.
Insane. But no, she's so insanely talented, like, especially because this was her first role. This was her breakout role.
Not literally, but I mean the one that broke, like...
100%, yeah. Of course it wasn't her
actual... Her big break.
Yeah, it was her big break, thank you. She's just, for someone who said they, to quote, really can't dance, and then Gene Kelly was like, what are you doing to me? Like, this is a dance movie. She just really, like, oh, I can't. She's gorgeous. She sings so pretty.
Yes.
I don't know. Just Debbie Reynolds.
I did.
She was in Rugrats in Paris. Sorry.
I read that. Lulu. I don't remember who Lulu was, though.
I think that's Chucky's dad dates Lulu. Maybe.
I mean, that's what she is. She's the Asian lady, I think. The Kim's mom. The Rugrat Kim might be her mom. Maybe her.
No, but Debbie Reynolds is just, throughout the whole film, you just, especially when, like, I love that scene between, the scenes between Dawn and Kathy are a lot of the, not to, like, at older films, but it's kind of like, alright, here are your love interests, they're in love. And, like, there's not a lot of development in terms of character development.
Okay.
That's Lou.
The grandma.
Okay.
Maybe not.
But it's kind of like where they're just like, they're in love, deal with it. Where this one you kind of see, like the scene in the car where they're kind of like, not at each other's throats, but they're kind of like, they're not a couple, of course.
Right.
And that next scene where he sees her on the set of Beautiful Girls, well when she throws the cake in Lena's face, but I was getting that scene. Where like they walk around the sound stage and they have like a meaningful conversation. They have that beautiful moment on the sound stage. It's just it's gorgeous, and they blossom into a real relationship, which I really I love it. Debbie Reynolds.
Yep.
I can't. I'll just keep saying her name.
I actually just remember I have seen another movie of her, which this was 2 years after Singing in the Rain. It's called Susan Slept Here. It's basically a comedy, which she looks really gorgeous in that too. But it was a funny movie. I just wanted to throw that out there because that's, besides obviously Halloween Town and Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
That's what everyone knows.
Yeah.
Singing in the Rain or Halloween Town.
Gotcha.
Either one. But that's another one I've seen just that she's in. Just throwing it out there.
Can we talk about, because I think we're all official stands of this person now.
Oh,
Again,
yes.
third more time I've used that word.
Yes, yes.
Donald
O'Connor.
He is really, like, talk about the most underrated person in this film, besides Boots. Boots is my favorite character, but Donald O'Connor is just, I don't want to say just as talented as Gene Kelly. I would like to say I don't want to say he's less talented, because he's Gene Kelly. Like, he's very, very talented, and he gets all the props in the world. And he's there the whole time. He sings, he dances, he's athletic, he's the best friend.
He's hilarious.
He gets third wheeled a lot.
He got the Golden Globe.
He got the Golden Globe. Honestly, Donald O'Connor.
Unappreciated.
I don't know what else to say. Donald O'Connor. He plays instruments. Maybe not really, but, like, his character plays instruments.
Yeah.
A piano.
No, he's very funny.
He plays a piano with his feet.
He does at one point.
Yeah, I remember that.
He just walks.
He just slams, like, won't.
Fucking Donald O'Connor. Just
That's all I got.
I can't.
There's not
I don't know
much
what
to
else to
say.
say.
He deserves the Golden Globe.
Other than Donald O'Connor.
We love Donald O'Connor.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know the name
Our final
of the actress that played Lena.
Jean
Hagen.
Jean Hagen. Because she did win the acting award for this.
Yes.
And
no, she lost. She
lost.
was nominated, though.
She should have won the
She-
acting.
she-
I haven't seen the other portrayal. However, she did a really great job, because I hate her character, but the fact that I have such intense feelings about that character speaks volumes.
Right.
So, no, she was very, very good. She was fun to hate.
Yes.
She should have won Best Supporting Actress, though.
Yes, I have not
Because
seen
you made good points about how we hate her, but she makes us want to hate her,
100%.
and that
Yes.
works.
Like, oh
It
god,
works.
who's that character from Harry Potter? Umbridge. There's a reason why I don't like you. It's because you do it so well.
Mhm.
Yes.
Wait, is it that blonde kid? Wait.
No, it's that.
Oh,
It's the headmistress lady that wears pink.
From Order of the Phoenix.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen Harry Potter.
Shut up, Mike.
That's a whole other conversation. But I think, like, I think the funniest scene in the film is when they're trying to hook Lena up for sound, and Boots is the director, if I just keep calling him Boots, because he wears the smallest boots I've seen in my life. And he just keeps running out, and, like, because you can't hear, and then it's every other word, and then it's, like, everything else. And it's just so funny. And even, like, we literally watched this yesterday, and we still laughed along. Like, it's such a fun, it's just a fun movie.
It is.
It's kind of like, I want to relate to the Wizard of Oz, because it's something, it will go on from time to another generation, to the next generation, and it keeps going and going till you show our own kids this movie.
Like, I know I got introduced from it, so the family's a big Disney people, so we go every year. And I remember the Great Movie Ride was always my favorite, because rest in peace. I almost said it passed. It closed 2 years ago.
It was one of my favorites.
I do have a sign.
I would have won on that now.
I just love it, because the idea of, to go off on a rant about Hollywood Studios, it was originally called MGM. The centerpiece was Grauman's Chinese Theater. As you were going into a movie, you wanted to see the background. There was a lot of, like, how they make movies. There was animation classes. So the shift of that park has kind of gone less in the how you make movies, but it go into and experience the films. So the Great Movie Ride was kind of one of the last things that was kind of like, well, now you're going into the films to see how they're made. So you walk into the Chinese theater and you see a bunch of props and you're loaded onto these vehicles, and this guide is going, we're taking a trip into the movies. And the first thing you see is the night of the quote, the movie musicals of the 1920s. And you see, I don't know what it's called, but it's the one where it's all the dancing kick line girls looking like a cake. And then when you look to your left, it's Gene Kelly singing in the Rain. And then it's Mary Poppins is right next to him, so I'd be like, Mary Poppins, but also Singing in the Rain. I always love that.
I would have fucking
It's just, and you go through and all the films, and it's kind of how you appreciate
It's one of my favorite
films.
rides.
It's just, it's a great ride.
Yeah.
And,
oh my god.
but no, that's why I wore my Great Movie Ride Rest in Peace shirt yesterday.
You know,
I would have loved that.
It's a great ride.
I absolutely love that ride. But as a child, the Alien section always
My
scared the
sister
absolute
still wouldn't
shit
go
out of
on
me.
it. Like, because there's a scene where you go into Alien from Alien.
The horror movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
where you're on Nostromo, and that is the name of the ship, right? And you're going through, and the xenomorph just kind of swings down and scares the crap out of you. My sister did not like that ride. Sorry to say.
Okay.
It was one of my favorite rides.
I loved it.
Man, just you guys talking, I'm just like,
It's such
why
a
the
fun-
fuck?
I'm sure there are videos.
Yeah, there's.
I don't know,
It's
it's not the same.
Search it up.
It's not the same, obviously.
No, but there's a video of the last car going through, and the host, the guide, is kind of like, I want to thank you for all the memory, and like she's crying. I'm like, oh, it's very, very. That's a lot. But like a gangster or a cowboy takes over your vehicle, and then they go and they try to steal a diamond, and like there's something happens, and then the guide is back, and you go through some horror films, The Wizard of Oz, and then there's a big movie montage at the end because Turner Classic Movies sponsored it and took away a lot of the magic because there was a lot more automated voice instead of the actual acting. But no, that's what got me into this, and I love that y'all were nice enough to let me come and watch for this.
Of course,
Sure.
of course.
And that's where I saw Singin. I saw it on TC, Turner Classic
Yeah,
Movies.
just last movies.
Well, now to go on to our final thing that we usually do in our reviews.
To actually review.
Yeah, the grading segment. So AJ, as our guest, would you like to give us the first topic to grade on?
Oh, sure. Music? Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Why not? Grade the music.
Hey. Just A. It's A for me. It's iconic.
It's memorable. It's something that it's catchy. You know it just by hearing the first couple of notes. So Jeremy and I are both A's. How about you?
Oh, A+. It's 100%
Definitely.
iconic.
Plot-wise, how about the
Plot-wise.
plot?
I would say, in terms of plot, I'm a solid B+. For me, I'm going to go B+. Just because the plot of the film is because they're transitioning from silent movies to regular talkies, and you don't get the idea of them making the movie into a musical. And Good Morning is roughly an hour into the film, which is like, it's okay. I feel like the beginning is kind of like, it's a lot. Of course it's setting stuff up, and there's a lot happens, and like it's an okay plot. I think it wasn't the first time that like dubbing voices was used in movies, but it's the first one they made a movie about it. Solid B+, not a bad plot. There are some moments where you're like, they shouldn't know Singing in the Rain. They should not know that song. Why are they singing it? But it's okay. Solid B+.
Me, I'm gonna give it an A, but because I'm a sucker for movies about movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Ed Wood, for example.
Yeah. Ed Wood was one of your personal favorites.
Yeah. If it's a movie about them making a movie,
have you ever seen The Producers?
Yes, with Gene Wilder and I forgot his name, but Mel Brooks did it. I loved it, and because it was they wanted to make something, but they're hoping it would be a flop, and
100%.
accidentally it was a success.
Yeah, my friend, one of my theater friends, absolutely loves The Producers. No, it's not my style. Mel Brooks is not my style of comedy, but my friend completely loves that show, and I understand why.
And for me, yes, an A, but B, I perfectly understand, because also, besides the original, I say it kind of is original, but then you see the sort of love story between Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds, how obviously, I keep forgetting her name.
Lena,
yeah. How that's not a real relationship, and she's a bitch to Gene Kelly, and I kind of found it really predictable that Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds' characters were going to get together in the end. A little predictable, but the movie is just so great with the music and the acting, and it's just so iconic. I just forget about that, so A for me.
I'm going to go with like a B. Because again, like you said, it's just a great fucking movie.
It's not bad by any means.
It's not bad by any means.
I think it got the 100% Rotten Tomatoes for a fucking reason.
Yeah. But as you said, you said, there are predictable moments.
Yes,
there are.
A little predictable.
It's a little slow in some areas, especially the beginning with the whole flashback montages and stuff like that. But it's one of the best movies out there. It's one of the better ones that we've watched.
I think in my opinion, I think this is the best movie we have seen ever.
Yeah.
Based on your list, I concur. This is the best movie you have watched.
Yes, I 100% agree.
No shade to any other movie except Tusk on your list.
Fuck Tusk. Thank you, Aiden.
No,
thank you.
Maybe a little bit of shade
for making me watch.
Maybe a little bit of shade to Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, and
I nothing but respect for my main man, Michael Myers.
Yep.
But
so that was
the best
B
movies
plus,
we have.
B, A.
Oh yeah, say it.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
For
A for me.
For plot.
Which I was gonna say really quickly. Sorry, but the best movies we said were the best we've seen were Sweeney Todd and Beetlejuice, both Tim Burton.
Yeah.
So we basically just said fuck you to Tim Burton. we saw Singing in the Rain. You're not number one anymore. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Our next grading point, I'd say, comedy, because there were some good jokes and gags in there. Mainly just anything with Donald O'Connor.
His facial expressions, his energy.
So as a whole, for comedy, I'm gonna give it like a B minus.
Okay.
Because there were a lot of things that like. It wasn't full of jokes. Like, the entire movie was not full of jokes.
But when it
was, it was good.
Yeah.
So comedy as a whole, I'm gonna give like a B minus ish.
Yeah.
But if I'm just going on Donald O'Connor, that's an A plus. Like.
Yeah. But yeah, same. You basically kind of said the words for me. Yeah, B as a whole, but A for O'Connor, definitely. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with B minus, and the only thing stopping it from giving it a C plus, I'll give you one word.
Yeah.
This real star of the show, Boots. Every time his name popped on the screen, I was ready to laugh. I laughed every time that guy came on. I love him, underrated character. But no, like, it's not. Of course, it's a musical comedy, so there are also some funny moments that are like very gaggy, like very like slapstick.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning when they literally get pulled off. Like you're like you're like, oh, you really don't like. It's not bad by any means, but it's just kind of like B minus.
And
it's a fair rating.
Make 'em Laugh also has cliche stuff like that, where when he gets hit in the head with the wood.
Yeah. Yes.
But
it's a very
that song, it makes it work. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And that scene where they were when the director Boots kept coming out to scream at
the funniest part of the entire film.
That was.
Yes. One of my favorite parts, comedy-wise, is when they're showing the dueling cavalier, and the audio gets fucked up.
Yeah.
So it's not synced.
No.
And it slows down.
Yes.
I also want to point out, just because I always get a laugh out of it, when that same moment, I think that's also very funny. It's when Gene Kelly enters the frame and he throws his stick and it just clunk, and you're like, that's funny.
Yeah.
There are good moments.
There are good moments. Yeah. Next point, acting.
I mean, Donald O'Connor won that Golden Globe. Yeah.
Donald O'Connor just gets all of the A's.
And so did Gene. What's her last name? Gene.
Kelly.
Not Gene. Oh, Gene. Wait, are both of their names Gene? Wait a minute.
Wait, for what?
Both of their names are Gene? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, Gene Hagen. But they're spelled differently.
Yes.
Gene Hagen.
And Gene
She was nominated for the only Academy Award, but lost. But yeah, I think acting's probably an A. But you have to understand, acting back then is really different from when it is now. Mm-hmm. So if someone that comes out and says this acting is not good, they don't clearly see a lot of old movies.
Well, that's the thing. It's kind of the whole argument of judging stuff by, judging older things by modern standards.
Yeah, exactly.
But even I'm also going to give it an A, but I'm giving it an A minus, just because the character that bugs me every single time. I don't like RF. He bothers me. He's just very he's a wealthy man who's running a movie production studio, and he lets Lena just ride him the whole. You're just like, stop it, no. And that's what gets me. But also that moment, there's so many great moments, like Gene Kelly, period. Donald O'Connor, period. Boots, exclamation point. Kathy's great. I love that moment where they're driving and she's talking about how silent movie stars are just, I love her. Yeah, so I would say A.
Michael?
Acting-wise, I'll also give it an A. There's really not much else to say. I think you guys covered it very well.
Singing in the Rain.
Singin' in the Rain is just the best movie musical.
It is the best movie musical. And, like, that's hard. Personally, it's weird for me to say because Mary Poppins is overall my favorite film of all time.
Yeah.
Unless there's some... I love other films, Clue, Grand Budapest Hotel. But, like, Mary Poppins is just... I love it. However,
the film for
it's the film for me. You want to have a conversation, I'll go off about Uncle Albert. Like, I love that film, but I see its weak spots.
Yeah.
Singing in the Rain, there are weak spots. However, it's just like... I don't think there's anything else that can compare for the greatest movie musical.
Yeah.
I'll fight you on Wizard of Oz. I love Wizard of Oz, too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's my favorite musical. But
Yeah.
Again, even I told you, even I forget sometimes it is a musical. Because it's more movie than musical. You're right about
It's
that.
just a movie with music. It's not really a movie.
Oh, what about costume and set design?
Oh, costume and set design, yes.
Set design, I will give you 100. I love the set design.
Yeah.
The costume...
For sure.
I'm giving you a B- just because that terrible, terrible Lena outfit. But every other outfit, first of all, can Gene Kelly ever not wear a hat? Like, I'm not upset about it. He pulls off everything.
Yeah.
The beautiful girl sequence with all those dresses. I'm bumping it back up from an 89 to a 90 for one word, the boots. I get to
The boots!
The boots! I guess I gotta give it an A for boots.
Wow.
Set design, I'd probably give like an A because the sets are immaculate.
100%. Especially I love the soundstage and the Broadway melody. They did it like that looks like an older Broadway production.
Mm-hmm.
It really represents the late 1920s, early transferring to the talkies to the early 30s. You know, it didn't take place in the early days, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Costume design wise, I'll probably give it like a B though, because there were some costumes I was just like, what the fuck are they wearing?
I agree.
But then again, it's 1920s.
Well, yeah.
What do you expect?
It's different fashion standards
And this
than what we have now.
The 50s
But
was already like, not that, but like
getting there.
Yeah. We were getting there.
And even like that's why I was like, should I get a B? And then I was like, the objective moment. Not the objective moment, just the moment where you look and it's beautiful girl, it's all those dresses. I'm going to relate it to Broadway because I have to. There's a moment in the Cher show, underrated show, Bob Mackie designed all the costumes, and it's called Ain't Nobody's Business, and it's basically a fashion show of all the different designs. And I love that moment because it's like, cool. However, when I'm listening to the cast album, I skip it because there's like 3 minutes of instrumental, and you're like, I can't vibe with that. Beautiful Girl is one of the two moments in the show where I'm like, okay, it doesn't really make sense. But the costumes themselves are very pretty. They're weird, but they're pretty. That's why I'm going to stick with an A.
A for both for me. I like the costume design was great. Set design was perfect perfect. That was perfect.
Just that rain scene deserves an A.
I think the rain itself deserves an A.
Which is not milk.
We would have been drunk if we actually did do that.
If we did the drinking game,
take a shot every time you see you see a raindrop of water. We are underage.
So we've covered all of those bases. I don't know if there's anything else.
Comedy, costume, set design. I think we covered everything that should be.
On a scale from yes to no, my answer is boots.
Overall score.
Oh, come on, dude. Really? Come on. Fucking imagine. It's an A. Come on. What else you gonna give this? You cannot give this movie anything else.
An A for... Hey, it's Gene Kelly. AJ,
I'm giving it an A. I will give it a 99 out of 100. Because of everything, especially boots. And just, it's iconic, the level... But, like, I can also acknowledge its fault between the beautiful girl sequence, Broadway melody. It's a great moment, but I'm like, you can skip it. There were some moments where I'm like, do you need it? Not really. However... The greatest movie musical of all time, period. 99 out of 100.
It is.
Close. But it's... I won't say perfect, because nothing is perfect.
Right.
Besides those boots. I will never get over those boots.
Now,
you know what? I'm honestly gonna, search up...
Yes.
Where are those boots now?
I want them. I will not break into the Smithsonian. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
We go to the studio in Hollywood just to find them.
I really want to grade a B just so I can say B for boots. But I can't bring myself to give it anything but an A.
It doesn't deserve anything less than an A.
It's just an immaculate film.
It is.
Oh man.
On so many levels.
It's.
Oh, I don't know if we said this. Choreography is a.
Oh,
what is other than an A?
Choreography is an A+. Yeah.
But even like from the beginning, because the first dance sequence you see is when it's the flashback. Well, no, the first one you really see is the weird Singing in the Rain commercial thing.
Yeah.
But when Don has his flashback, I just love that moment where they like kick and go back and forth. Like,
yes.
With him and Donald O'Connor.
All of
Singing
the
in the Rain, Good Morning. All the choreography
beautiful.
is fantastic.
I can't believe we
forgot about that.
That's the most thing we kind of first
we said the first thing we said is this. Yeah. But no, iconic.
It's a very iconic film. I'm glad that we sat down and watched it.
I agree.
Even though we had to watch it twice.
Oh, it's fine. At least it wasn't tossed twice.
Yeah.
I would have changed the film. That is not.
I was if you weren't able to come today, I was actually going to try and change the film that we were going to do for this week because I really wanted you to join us for this one.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
It was, yeah. I enjoy your company. I enjoy your company. I spoke to both of them, not just one.
You're not just looking Jeremy dead in the eye.
But I just enjoy doing this. It's a lot of fun to do with you every week, and I know this is one of your favorite films. It's not one of my favorite films, but it is a fantastic film.
Yes.
And so I really wanted to cover it, and I really wanted to do it when I knew you were available. Thank you for joining us, Aiden.
Thank you for inviting me. This was a great time.
It was.
It was great to meet you, John.
You too, man. You too.
It was.
Now pick another good film so you can come back here.
Other than that, I'd say there isn't anything else to say. It's just a beautiful movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. What are you doing with your life?
The fuck?
I have one word and one word only, and that word is boots. If you have no other, first of all, there should be a million excuses to watch this movie. If you have no other, you've heard about the boots. Now experience the boots.
Subscribe for more boots.
Yeah, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. I'll plug your channel. Hit the bell for notifications.
Hit the boots for notifications.
Can you just draw a boot on like the thumbnail?
Oh my god, put boots. The Good Morning Top Dent, just draw boots.
On whoever you draw boots on, whatever, just make sure they're.
I'll just put boots all over the floor. I'll draw one boot and copy paste it all over the place. But no, make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this, because we put out new content every week, a different movie every week. It's a lot of fun. Hoping to get more guests soon, depending on COVID.
Sorry, but I just realized this week is So Happy movie, and next week we're gonna get dark.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh boy.
And then make sure to like if you liked the video. Don't if you didn't, because I don't want to force you to do anything.
Still hit that like button.
Well, yeah.
Fucking hit the like button.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna force you to do anything. But
we're gonna come through the computer screen or phone.
Make sure to comment your own opinions. We love hearing them.
Unless it's against the boots, then you can
fuck yourself.
If it's against the boots, leave. But if it's for the boots, then
stay
for a while.
We love it. But thank you for listening. This has been Bradow's Blockbusters. I'm Michael Bradow.
I'm Jeremy Alves.
I'm AJ.
Have a good week.
Peace.
Boots.